ASTATechCenter presents Primavera P6 lesson. Please like the video, subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon.
Primavera P6 Professional. Lesson 6. Activity Relationships and Constraints. In this lesson, we will cover topics such as understanding activity relationships, establishing relationships between activities, predecessor and successor, activity float, adding constraints to activity or WBS, adding columns to tabular area, understanding critical path method, CPM, using constraints to project, activity relationships. 1. Finish to start, activity B starts only after activity A finishes. 2. Start to start, activity B starts only when activity A starts. 3. Finish to finish, activity B is finished only when activity A is finished. 4. Start to finish, activity B is finished only after start of activity A. Such situation is hardly occurs and hence this relationship is not in use. Activity, which occurs first, is called predecessor, in their relationship. Which occurs next is called successor, in their relationship. Activities, lag, and lead relationships. Zero lag, here in type 1, activity B starts immediately after A is finished. B has 0-day lag. 5 days lead, here in type 2, activity B started 5 days prior to the finish date of A. Hence A has 5 days lead, provided as negative 5 days lead value. 5 days lag, here in type 3, activity B starts only 5 days after A is finished. Hence A has lag of 5 days. Provide with positive lag value, hence B has 5 days lag. Establishing activity relationships. The relationship between the activities can be established by selecting the activity and then clicking the relationship tab in the bottom layout. Click the Assign button in Predecessor or Successor section and select the activity from accordingly predecessor or successor window by clicking the Assign button that is present below the window panel. A finish to start relationship is automatically established. This can be changed by clicking the FS button and selecting FF or SS from there, if required. A lag of 0 days is shown and can be changed. This lag value can be increased by providing value with a negative value as lead, positive value as lag. Establishing activity relationships. Here in case of our district school project, Bhubaneswar, DSPB, in order to establish a relationship between survey and layout. 4 days work and cleaning and leveling, 5 days work with 3 days lead time for activity, survey and layout. Select the activity, survey and layout, also select relationship tab from bottom layout and click the Assign button in the predecessor window. Select and assign and add cleaning and leveling activity. By doing so, activity cleaning and leveling appears in the predecessor window. Under lag, provide a negative value of 3 days and schedule it to see the relationship of activities in graphical layout. Float in activities. Activity float in a network diagram are of 2 types, free float and total float. Free float is the duration by which the inactivity can be delayed without delaying the late start of the successor activity. Total float in a network is the duration by which an activity or activities can be delayed without delaying the project finish date. Adding columns to tabular layout. Supposing you want to add 3 more columns to the tabular layout after the total float, click the column tool from horizontal toolbar on top. From the pop-up window, Columns, select the cost item shown on the left side. Expand the same and select budgeted material cost and budgeted labor cost item and budgeted total cost and bring them to right side by using right arrow and bring it after total float from the list by using right arrow as well as up and down arrow. Then click apply and then OK. Adding a constraint to an activity or milestone. Constraint can be applied to any milestone or to an activity. This is a special type of date attached to control the target date fixed to achieve the situation in the schedule. In order to attach a constraint, say in our case of district school project, Bhubaneswar, DSPB, to see that the end of structure milestone is achieved by 26th of July, 2023, select the end of structure from tabular layout, and then click on Status tab on the bottom layout, and in the Constrain section, select the constrain, Finished On, from the drop-down list, and in Date window, select 26 July, 2023 from the calendar. Similarly, other constraints can also be applied. Understanding critical path, forward and backward pass.
In the network diagram, there are 6 activities, A, B, C, D, E, and F, in a project, having duration of 4, 7, 3, 9, 7 and 6 respectively.
By giving a forward pass, early start, S, and arriving early finish, F, days can be obtained. Again, by giving a backward pass, late start, LS, and late finish, LF, days, can also be obtained. The difference between S and LS or F and LF is called the float in the activities. Activities having zero float are the critical activities. The path connecting the activities having zero float is called the critical path. Understanding critical path method, CPM.
In the network diagram, activities A, B, C and F are the critical activities, having zero float. The path traced by connecting activities A, B, C and F are in critical path, that is the longest duration path.
Further, the activity A starts on day 1, S, and activity F ends on day 26, is the longest duration of the project. The analysis thus made by using duration is called critical path method, CPM, or critical path analysis. Critical path method, CPM. Critical path method of scheduling, CPM, is the process of calculating critical activities in a project schedule. It is the method by which a project can be analyzed and progress can be monitored from time to time. The activities those are critical should not be delayed at any point of time during execution of project. Any delay in critical activities will delay the project end date. In order to identify the critical activities in a project schedule, click the Filter button from the horizontal toolbar and check Critical Radio button. From the list of filter window, click Apply button, and then click OK. In our district school project, DSPB, critical filter has been applied. Critical activities along critical path are shown, applying constraints to project. Constraints are 2 types, hard and soft constraints. Soft constraints. As soon as possible. Finish on or before. Finish on or after. Start on or before. Start on or after. Hard constraints. Start on. Finish on. Mandatory start. Mandatory finish. Must finish by, at project level. Hard constraint, must finish by. This can be applied in the project level. Here in our case of district school project, DSPB, the original finish date is 9th October, 2023, but in Date tab, change it to must finish by 13th August, 2023, and then scheduled it. In the total float column, a negative float of 5 days is applied to all critical activities. Critical activities are now supercritical. Therefore, hard constraints are generally avoided. Applying constraints to milestone. Applying a soft constraint, finish on or before. Select again the finish milestone of the project. In the bottom layout, select the Status tab. In the constraint area, select Finish on or before from the drop-down list in the primary window option. Enter a date, 21st of June, 23. In the total float column, there is no change in float values, all are 0. The critical path is also remain unchanged. It is always better to avoid using any constraint in the project schedule. In some case it may erratically behave. Primavera P6 Software Demonstration, Lesson 6, Topics.
Here is a project considered as new project. It has 2 WBS such as WBS A, B and C and WBS D, E and F. There are 6 activities such as A, B, C, D, E and F with start and end of project and also end of works. In order to study activities relationship, consider Relationship tab at bottom layout. Before establishing activities relationship, 2 important things you must remember. 1. In order to establish a relationship, start to start SS between the activity A and start of project, select activity A and in Relationship tab click Assign button and select Start of project from pop-up list and click Relationship window and select Start to start SS, with 0 lag, and then schedule to see the relationship line in the graphical area. For Finish to start relationship, select the activity and the click Assign button to select activity A from pop-up table and click green button to assign. Under Relationship select Finish to start FS with 0 date lag. Schedule and see how it appears in the graphical area. Activity B starts immediately after activity A is finished. If you want to introduce 5 days lag, give -5 days, as in case between activities C and B. With Finish to start relationship in our project. In order to provide a lead time, enter a positive value with Finish to start FS relationship, as in case of activities between E and activity E is having 5 days lead from activity D. Finally, the end of work has a Finish to finish FF relation with end of project. The red line seen in the graphical area, Gantt chart, is the critical path. Project has 2 critical paths. 1. Joining A and E. 2. Is joining A and F. Click the filter button on the main toolbar and activate critical from the list. This gives the critical activities and the critical path. Adding columns to the tabular area. In order to do this, click the column button on the main toolbar. Select the items you like by expanding the summary item and using the left arrow and sequence them by using the up and down arrow. Then click Apply and make OK. The column heading in the tabular area shall be arranged from left to right. Soft and hard constraint can be applied to WBS or to any activity. Say in case of activity B is scheduled to finish on 28th of August, 2023. It has duration 10 days and total float of 5 days. Use a hard constraint for B such as mandatory finish on 28 August, 2023 in the bottom status tab of constraint area. Though activity B has total float of 5 days, it cannot get delayed beyond 28th of August, 2023. Any delay beyond that shall delay the finishing date of the project. Closely observe the steps so that you get familiar with the sequence of operations. Closely observe the steps so that you get familiar with the sequence of operations. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon.